G'day Matt. Yeah, thanks for your question. Yeah, Hodgie leaves a fair void. A little bit like Sam Mitchell and Jordan Lewis going the year before. So we've had a lot of players, particularly Ruffy. He's needed to step up as captain of the club, but Isaac Smith, Liam Shields, Ben Stratton, Jack Gunston, these sorts of guys, and there's a whole heap of guys underneath those ones. Ryan Burton and James Sicilier too, for instance, who have jumped into our emerging leadership group. They're part of the younger generation of our footy club and have really shown some signs over the course of the last 12 months that they want to play some great footy for our club as well as lead some of their teammates. So looking forward to those guys making an impact in the years to come. Ryan asking a question about Ryan. Thanks mate. Yeah, Ryan Burton will play mainly down back, but he's also got capabilities of playing midfield and forward, and we've trained him a little bit up forward this year. He played a lot of his junior footy as a forward, and we think he's got the flexibility to play a number of roles, but right at the present time we're pretty keen on him just consolidating his spot in the back line. Hi Josh, it's always been our go to aim for top 4 and then see where that takes us once we get to the pointy end of the season. So our plans will be no different, albeit we're coming off a reasonably poor year by our standards last year where we didn't even make the finals. So it maybe seemed a little bit ambitious to jump ourselves from the lower part of the ladder up into the upper echelon of it, but that's always been our goal, to position ourselves to finish in the top 4 and see where it goes from there. So it'll be no different this year. Yeah, it's a good question. There's lots of things that you learn when you travel overseas and watch some of these other sports, but learn a lot from a guy from Sky Racing team, a guy called Sir David Brailsford, who has to do a lot of preparation with his cyclists from one day to the next. We've got a week to recover and prepare for the next game. With the cyclists, when they're doing the Tour de France, they've got one day to actually go from one to the next. So yeah, he's a high-class operator, and learned a fair bit from him. Hi Marcus, well we've just completed AFLX and we saw some of our younger players who had really only just been drafted at the end of last year get themselves on the stage at Etihad Stadium last Friday night, and James Warple was one who acquitted himself really well, and Dylan Moore, Jackson Ross. So we got some young guys that were really pleased. There's a couple of guys who played some footy last year, like Harry Morrison and Connor Glass. These sorts of guys we're hoping will consolidate their opportunities throughout the course of 2018 and become future players for us. Yeah, I'll probably do a little bit of both. Sist's had a really good summer. He's trained mostly in the back half across the summer, and we'd expect he'd probably start there. But as we saw in the AFLX on Friday night, we did swing him forward in that game too. So he's got the capabilities of playing at both ends of the ground, and in pretty dire circumstances last year where most of our defence was out injured, he moved to the back end and did a splendid job for us back there. So he'll probably spend a bit of time in both areas, but we think that he's really emerged as a high quality intercept player in our back end. Jager's had a really strong summer, and we've been really pleased with his conditioning over the last 6 or 8 weeks. So at this stage, as long as everything goes smoothly and there's no hiccups, we expect him to start the season, and his preparation would indicate he's going to have a really strong season. Hi James, yeah, I think any advantage you can get in finals footy is important, and certainly the ground, whether it's the West Coast Eagles or Fremantle getting a home final, and any of the Victorian sides having to go over there, or vice versa, and the interstate clubs having to come to the MCG or Etihad Stadium. So yeah, it is a little bit of an advantage, particularly with the crowd, but by and large, as coaches would always say, there's a red ball to chase around, and 22 opposition with arms and legs just like yours, and green grass and goalposts. So it shouldn't really make a hell of a lot of difference, but for some reason over the journey, home final has been important. Yeah, hi Brandon. Yeah, John O'Rourke's been at our club. This is his 3rd year now, and He's had a fair amount of interruption over the 2 years that he's played with us through injury, mainly soft tissue injuries, and he had a little bit of those troubles when he was at GWS2 in the early part of his career. So we're hoping we're finally over some of those, and he's developed the core strength through his body to withstand the rigours of the game and be able to get out there on a consistent basis. But only time will tell with that, and it's a pretty pivotal year for him. He needs to be able to consolidate his spot in the side, and hopefully that'll mean he's injury free and can really show his wares. Yeah, well, Dave's been around our footy club in a sense for a long period of time. He's been Box Hill captain for a fair while and has played at Box Hill for the last 7 or 8 years. So we've known of Dave and his exploits, and he's been a really good VFL player. And just through consistent performance year after year, he deserved an opportunity at AFL level, and he's got that chance now. He was drafted late last year and he's put in a really good summer, and there's no reason, particularly with a mature body and understanding the patterns of our play, why he can't come in and make an impact reasonably quickly.